Hello, divine ones. All right. So today we're going to be talking about this powerful eclipse energy, this portal that has been activated. It actually was activated. It's like a continual cycle. Okay, so first it was activated. You may want to look back on the last eclipse, which just happened a couple weeks ago in the sign of Libra, and that was in the South Node. What did you let go? What did you feel like shifted or was fleshed out of your life? Okay. So, maybe go back, if you keep a journal, go back and read over some of your journal prompts, some of the answers, some of the things that you documented in your journal that will help to give you a little more insight into this eclipse energy now. So this eclipse happens in the North Node, and that's where the sign of Aries is. So let's get into it. Let me see first where I'm supposed to go. Okay. All right. So I am going to get into the numerology about some of these portal activities that are happening. That numerology could probably give you some insight into some perspective. Will give you some perspective into some situations that are unfolding in your life. It could be tied to karmic past, to soul relationships. It could be tied to a myriad of different things. Okay. So this new moon eclipse happens in the sign of Aries. Like I said, today is April 8th. 2024, and this happens at 2:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 222 is the number for soul contracts. That could include karmic soul partners such as twin flames. This could be karmic partners in the form that has incarnated in the form of family members such as the mother and the father. And that's especially highlighted now, especially when it comes to father or fraternal figures in your life, because this is a solar eclipse and the sun is connected to masculine energy. So this could also be a mother that has like very like harsh energy, very either overprotective, or either they were like very harsh and very a strong disciplinary figure in your life. So you could review that and see what type of pattern that is unfolding. I'm sorry, I'm getting really excited. That is unfolding in your life right now. This happens at the 19th degree. So that equals to 10. So some type of completion, some type of covenant that is completing now. This happens in the second decan of Aries. No calls. This happens in the second decan of Aries. And this is ruled by, first of all, it's ruled by the sun. So the sun is definitely edified here. So once again, father figures or really strong, prominent, dominant, disciplinary figures in your life. This also could be where you're being extra harsh on yourself, where you are ego driven, but it's in the false ego. So it's something that you feel like you have to accomplish in your life. Otherwise, you feel like a failure. And this is a Leo triplicity, this region, and it's regal section, meaning it's related to kings, princes, the sea monster, furnace, the dragon, and a star. And this is where the decan, where leaders and bosses are edified. It's ruled by the Three of Wands. Okay, so I'm going to have a message related to this. I can feel it already, like in my hand. But overall, this is the traveler that's being liberated from something, from either a past life connection or either something that has happened in the past that you have to let go. You could still be holding onto it, still struggling with it back and forth. But it's time to let that painful situation flush out of your system, pretty much. So I'm not going to go deep into this right now. I really feel like a pull, like a tug of war that's been happening probably internally with someone, but we're going to get to that. Okay, I'm just going to set it over here to the side. Okay, let me go further on in my notes. So this energy is related to the biblical story of Jonah. And you will see as I explain everything. So just hold on. I'm not getting all extra preachy or anything like that. This also could be tied to religion too when I say preachy. And the second decan of Aries could be like an overbearing pastor or religion that has embarked on or pushed into someone's life. This could be from childhood, or it could be maybe even a spouse that is moving into a religious realm and it's causing friction in a relationship. Okay. All right. So the prophet Jonah. All right. I'll give you a little brief synopsis of the prophet Jonah. So it is an Old Testament prophet, and pretty much like the Ninevites had like a soldier killed his father. When going back to the Aries energy, the father. So esoterically, the father would represent our conscious mind and our external masculine energy. So like where we either career, our self-identity in the world, and that could represent damaging the ego. Like the ego is bruised. Our consciousness that we shine and project into the world has been bruised in some way. Okay. All right. And so fast forward, he is a prophet. So he's supposed to be a messenger, first a seer. So he sees things and he puts those connections together and he receives those downloads from the divine spirit. And he's supposed to go and share those downloads, those intuitive messages with the collective, because it's a message from the cosmos. It's a message from the Most High. Okay. But in this instance, because it's an emotional trigger, it's a trigger connected to his identity, that he's like, nah, I'm gonna have to pass on that. I'm actually gonna go the opposite direction. I'm not going to follow that intuitive nudge. I'm not gonna follow my divine path. I'm gonna go a different way. I'm not going to go the way I'm supposed to go. This will represent a person that has a soul calling in life. But in this instance, this will be Jonah going the other way. So how many times have we been prompted by the divine spirit, by our angels, our guides, to go and do something, to be that light in the world, but we decide to go in the shadows and go run and hide like Jonah. Okay, so you may or may not know this story. He goes the opposite way, get on a ship, like, peace, I'm gone. I'm going the other way. I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to obey. And guess what? A storm comes in, like how storms come in our life when we don't obey. Not all the time. Sometimes there's tests and trials. But overall, they're karmic events that helps to set us on the right path. And that could be turning us back to the right path, or either that could be a bump in the road along the right path. In his instance, he was going the opposite direction. So it was to reset him on the proper direction. So that storm came along, and the workers on the ship, they knew something was off. So they casted lots. They did some divination and they realized it was Jonah. So they were like, you got to go, man. You ain't about to jeopardize everything we got going on over here. So they casted him into the sea. So the sea represents emotions, our subconscious emotional state, and it was topsy-turvy. So he was completely out of alignment. He was completely out of whack with what he was supposed to be doing. So it was like just like a storm everywhere, like confusion. So when he was cast into the sea, it was a sea monster and swallowed him up. Now this is all allegorical, okay? For 3 days. What other story? Actually, there's several stories connected to the number 3. So first, 3 is the number of alchemy and the number of transformation. Okay. So another figure with 3 going to the underworld was Jesus, was Christ. Went to the underworld for 3 days, got the keys. Think about what keys are. They unlock some portal or pretty much like a portal. Or even if you look at this from an alignment standpoint, the underworld would be like the base chakra and unlock the keys. So that's what it represents until you get to Christ consciousness. And that's what that story, the allegorical reference to Christ, represents. So while he was in the belly of the beast for 3 days, he finally was like, you know what? Okay, I'll do what you want me to do. But he still had some hesitancy in his heart. So the sea monster spit him out on shore, on dry land, okay, from emotional topsy-turvy to dry land, where he can move physically. After he was moved and swayed emotionally somewhat, he was able to physically move on dry land. So he makes his way to Nineveh. He's like, oh my gosh, I really don't want to do this. So he goes in there and he has to fulfill his word. He goes in there, he talks to the king. He goes directly to the king, which remember that this deacon of Aries actually represents rulers altogether, emperors and stuff. So he goes directly to the king and he gives like a short message. And the last word of that short phrase in Hebrew represents either destruction, like in the instance of Sodom and Gomorrah, or either transformation. So it's like a decision that had to be made. Sorry about those. I think it's an ambulance or something coming through. But, nothing happens by accident. Maybe that's a sign for someone. Okay, so for 40 days, they fasted. They repented. So repentance means to turn your direction. If you want a roadmap and you have a destination and you decide like, okay, I was going the opposite way from my destination. Now I'm going to turn back and go to my destination. That's pretty much like an illustration of what repentance means. It's nothing that's like sometimes how some people may try to explain, like it's such a bad event, like, oh my gosh, you're going completely the wrong way, you're such an evil person, blah blah blah. So I just want to illustrate that to you guys so you can really grasp the concept of what repentance is. And I did a video about what sin is, and it's not what religious people have been saying for all these years. So my overall purpose is to make sure I give the proper information so people don't feel like the all-ruling supreme force God is like a harsh, like, raining down terror on people. Okay, so I have to explain that. So 40, I'm prompted to point out and break 40 down like this. So 40 is not just the number of purification, but it's also the number that houses maybe a problem or an equation. There we go. Explain like this. 4 is a number for like square, like you stand on your square. It's the cornerstone. But it's 10. So 10 is a covenant. The covenant will be fulfilled when you are on your square. And let me repeat that. So the covenant through you will be fulfilled from generations past when you stand on your square. So this could be for someone that it was a promise to be fulfilled in your lineage, but others were knocked off of their square. So meaning that they did not fulfill the prophecy. So it's up to you, this generation, to fulfill that prophecy for someone. Okay. Give me a second. Give me my notes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. As a note, now I will recommend that you go check out a video by this creator called Astrolata. And she talks about the sea monster and the astrology behind that. I don't know a whole lot about that, but you can go check out her video to break all that down. She did a wonderful job. She's very well knowledgeable in that, in astrology, from Babylonian astrology in all different forms. So anyways, this lunation or this eclipse happens around a star, Cetus, and it is the monster. So if you look at with the diagram of this eclipse, it's in the constellation of Pisces, and that's where we had the age of pretty much the sacrificers like Christ and Muhammad and figures that came to sacrifice, and because the sign is about sacrifice and it's about world religions. And with that sacrifice comes a new awakening, which will be Aries. Like Aries is the beginning, it's the spark. So before the spark could happen, it had to be like a sacrifice. So like we had to let go of something, we had to sacrifice something in order for it to have this new impetus, this new beginning. So that monster that Jonah was in the belly of the beast. Now there's several different references with the belly of the beast. It refers to a reawakening, but it also refers to like a fast, if you will, or like a diet, something that happens with a diet with the gut. The brain and gut access, and that's an intuitive access. You would think that the brain is logical, but the gut is like intuition. Sometimes when pretty much like when the gut is off, like if there's parasites in the gut, if the health of the gut is not conducive for healthy bacteria, then the parasites will attack that healthy bacteria and the body will be out of whack. So the mind is also connected to Aquarius, and Aquarius rules the nervous system. And that's how we really intuitively feel things in our bodies. So when you are out of alignment, like your gut is out of alignment, that your intuition can be out of alignment, if that makes sense. Okay. So someone maybe 40-day fast, maybe a fast, maybe a cleanse or something. That's up to you, to really tap in and see if that is something for you to do. We actually about to wrap up our 21-day fast, myself and my family, and also those that have been participating in the 21-day life reset, the 3rd annual one. All right, let me get back to these notes. Okay. I got a lot of notes. I keep a lot of notes. All right, significant may be played out. Paying close attention to your emotional states. When I say states, there's 3, this is what I hear right now, 3 forms of evidence that will show up, that will be confirmation for the past, present, and the future. So it's 3 states of existence. Okay. And with these 3 states, this is not on my notes. On these 3 states of existence, this also could be mind, emotional, and ether. And someone is to take reference or take notes of what is happening in this moment at this point in time for you. Because remember how I said, like, generations past was a prophecy, but no one could fulfill it because they weren't staying on their square. They weren't fulfilling the commandments they were supposed to fulfill in order for it to manifest that prophecy. So it is up to this generation, like whoever this resonates with, whoever this is for, and it could be for a myriad of different people, that you're supposed to stay on your square. You can't turn back off of this path. You see, the great unknown, all of this, if you were trying to turn, well, you get what I'm saying? Like if this was you and you were looking out in the great infinite, but the great infinite can be intimidating. This person could be intimidated by the greatness that they see within them that has been building up from generations before, and they feel intimidated. And they may want to shriek within themselves, and they may want to turn back around. They may even have a hardened heart like Jonah, but you are being prompted to keep the course, to stay on the square. Don't be knocked off, okay? All right. Give me a second. All right. Okay. Chiron, the wounded healer, is, okay. All right, is in alignment with this eclipse, okay? We have, this was another card that came up, but this is ruled by Uranus. And Uranus and Jupiter are both in the sign of Taurus. So this could be something prominent for either Taurus or Scorpio, that axis right there. Also in Aquarius. But this could be like some type of immediate download that this person that's staying on their square is receiving that will change their path and their course in life. For others, they may be intimidated. Once again, they may be intimidated. Okay, give me a second. All right, so forgiveness. Forgiveness for some, it may be other people outside of themselves, like, oh, I need to forgive this person, I need to forgive that person, I need to forgive God. Sometimes, we have the God within us, God. Or like if you even look at God outside of yourself, that why was I born here? Why was I born at this time period? Why, why? Like if we take this to the story of Jonah, like why was he killed? Why did my family suffer? Why did you call me, God, to be the one to have to walk this path? Why? And some people may find answers for themselves that make sense to them. And sometimes it may take more time. Sometimes we may never have the logical answers, but, we may have some form of solace. But don't be knocked off of your square. Stay on your square. Oh, for you guys here. These are the cards I'm holding up. Okay. All right. Now, the Sabian symbol happens at 19 degrees of Aries. Okay. I'm prompted to do like that. When I seen that word magic, I was prompted to do like this. So for someone, you know how this means like money or tangibles. For someone, this could be their Sabian symbol in which they were born, or it could be a prominent placement in their chart for someone. Okay, so the Sabian symbol at 19 degrees of Aries. So first, 1910, a covenant, fulfillment that's happening. Okay, it is a magic carpet that hovers over the depressing reality of everyday life in an industrial area. And when I see that Sabian symbol, rat race, the matrix, and looking beyond, once again, looking beyond the veneer of the current life, the Three of Wands. This is the dreamer here. This is the dreamer that receives downloads or dreams, connections to the ethers, to the angels, and they believe. They look beyond the veneer of the matrix. They look beyond what their eyes may see, and they see promise, they see hope, and they see that path that is being illuminated with, I heard two things: every turn of the key, but I also heard every lunation. Like they're getting closer and closer, like the picture is becoming bigger and brighter for them. They could be a dreamer. They could be like Joseph, the dreamer, like prophecy through dreams. They could also be a visionary. They could also receive visitations from like angels, even extraterrestrials. It could be angels too, but you know, whatever idea you see fit that fits you. All right. All right. So Jupiter conjunct Uranus in the sign of Taurus. So Taurus is another sign along with Aries and Taurus. They are sacrifice, like in the Old Testament would be, and it's all allegorical. Once again, let me explain. So, I mean, it could have some historical references to it, but I'm just using those as illustrations so people won't think that like I believe in animal sacrificing or something. But I just want to clear that up and let you guys know, no. But there's sacrifices. That means that it has to be some form of sacrifice. So what does Aries represent? It represents our ego. It represents the head, the cranium. And with Taurus, it's the neck. So all of this region right here, what does that do? It causes us to look differently. As if you are stiff neck, how can you really look to see what's around you? And this is an analogy for the perspective. You have to be able to look, like have a 360 view in order to really see this. And that 360 represents like a full view, like an overview, more so like an eagle's eye view, and seeing how things play out on a higher level. So that way you can map out this journey, the journey to the inner self. But it's also a journey for generations. Like you have literally your ancestors that are rooting for you on the other side, and they walk with you. So you're not taking this journey, this alarm or whatever, that siren is serving to be an alarm, like to get someone's attention. Because it wasn't like that before. It wasn't making all this noise before. So it could be, to get someone's attention. Give me a second. So the shift in perspective and duties. Someone is receiving new duties. And these duties, it may seem like a burden. That's where that sacrifice comes from. It seems like a burden, but once you master this burden, you will have new tools, spiritual tools, but also physical, tangible tools that will bring you some type of, I hear, disposable income, which may seem to be like a hobby that is sort of kind of like a task because you got to learn something new. It could be a language for someone. As I look at these yoids right here, it could be definitely a language for somebody else. It could also be like maybe a leadership class or something here with that crown. yeah, someone has to learn some new trade or something that requires a deal of sacrifice and diligence and a degree. I also hear degree. And that's not for everyone, that's for like someone. Okay. I mentioned that this happens in the tropical sign of Aries, but it's in the constellation of Pisces. Yeah, I already mentioned that. Okay. Yeah, I pretty much covered all that. So let me go and see if I missed anything else. So with the numerology of the names, like Jonah is 699. You add it, that's 24. Then you add 2 and 4 together. 6 is temptation. So where we are tempted by wanting to not just give up, but not be obedient to what the divine spirit has for us to do. I'm rocking the table, my bad. What the divine spirit has for us to do. You have your own soul's path that you're supposed to be following. It's not, your path may be similar to someone else's path, but it's not exactly every step of the way is going to be like somebody else's. It's your divine path. So you have to take ownership of that and you have to walk it. And the temptation comes when it may be something that's painful to do. Once again, referring back to the story of Jonah, it was painful for him. And they actually never in the book, they never actually said in Jonah, the book, they never actually said that if he really was healed, if he really found peace or anything. It just ends with him being grumpy. And sometimes we have to do, the difficult thing may seem to be to forgive, but I talked about this before, that as we meaning like for, it also is like for us, we have to give. So for me, it's on me first to give. It's not so much for the other person, it's for us. Because if you are holding on to something and you're filled completely with whatever you're holding on to, how can you be filled? I know it's difficult. I can't even imagine. Turn off cold. Oh, yeah. Okay. I can't even imagine some of the things that people have been through. And I know I can feel heaviness like starting to come right here. But some people have been through a whole lot, and then some people from human standpoint hasn't been through that much, but it's harder for them to let go of pain than someone that possibly has been through a whole lot. So we can't really judge off of how much someone has been through. We can only judge for ourselves to know how it may feel for us and the burden that we carry. So the burden that we carry, we have to be able to give it to God. And I'll use that. God overall is the universal laws, okay? The law of give and take. Before I can take on something new, joy, love, abundance, I have to be able to give the pain, the heartbreak. And every time I'm talking about it, I feel like it coming up here and in my chest, like someone that it's like it's hard for them to get it out. Almost like a cat that has a hairball, but this is an analogy for like a emotional hairball that's like stuck all right here, and they're trying to get it out, but they can't get it out. It's going to take, I don't know what it necessarily would take for this person, maybe a fast, I don't know. I can't really speak for that, but however, I'm just illustrating how it can get stuck, but keep on trying to push it out, because when you push it out, you'll be able to really breathe. And when your airway is open, you're able to take in. Imagine if you had something stuck right here where you can't breathe, like you can only try to push out your air, but you can't receive air in. And that is also the law of reciprocity, the law of give and take. So think if you only could partially breathe, like only take in air, but you can't release it, it gets trapped in the body. And then eventually the body starts to break down and then it dies. So I'm trying to create different illustrations to explain. So hopefully we'll be able to give a person a different perspective and hopefully help to bring healing. Once again, I cannot say what someone else's pain is. I can only, try to convey a message. But it is stuck right here. I can feel it, like for this person, like right up through here. But sending you love. All right. But that is the one of the greatest temptations, is to want to hold on to something. And now holding on to something can be something really good. Maybe if you have too much of it, it could hinder you. Like, for example, you get a whole lot of riches. Scrooge McDuck. You want to hold on to it. But once again, the law of reciprocity. It's good to give. It's good to receive. It's also good to give. And it's a continual cycle of keeping the energy moving. When the energy isn't moving, it becomes stale, it becomes stagnant, and the growth, you stop growing. And there's so many other ways how we can grow, not just from a financial standpoint, but educational, relationship, love. There's so many different ways how you can grow, and be open to exploring those ways in growth. Let your planes expand. Planes are like plain fields, like fields. Let your fields expand. Excuse me. And I should explain, your fields. So, like your garden, if you will. A garden requires a great deal of skill that you may not have been born with. Some people just know how to grow something. I'm not one of those people. I'm working on it though. But, like you may have a flower in a pot, or you may have someone that can take a patch of dirt and turn it into an oasis, a Garden of Eden with luscious fruits and vegetables. You have some people that have to work on it, but it's worth it. Because when you when you look out over the things that you have grown, you have such a great deal of fulfillment. This also is a recipe. Like, once you have mastered it, you can replicate it in different avenues of your life. So I am going to pull some other cards. Let me just see real quick. Yeah, I'm not going to go into the rest of it. Okay. All right, let's see here what type of cards I'm going to pull. So we already got our two master cards right here. I hear Townsend or Town for someone. Okay. Or Town Square. Have the Tower card and then the Three of Wands. So you guys can see. Okay. Let me see what cards I shall use. I have these right here. Let's see. I'll show y'all the box. I think I'm also going to do some of my runes too. All right. The Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups. I think this recently just came out. Water of Water. Put that right there, and then I'm going to pick one more. Okay, Jupiter in Gemini. The Eight of Swords. Okay, someone that's stuck in their mind. So Water of Water, I was saying, with Jonah thrown into the water, he was overly stimulated. He was overly emotional. Okay, that's what water represents, emotion. But it was a storm. So it's also about confusion. Here with the Eight of Swords, it's like confusion. Someone is confused about what steps to take next. What should I do? And it's an overflow of emotions and confusion, especially with the Tower card. It's too much energy rushing in at one time. For this person, stability. Yeah, being stable, finding some activity that will ground your energy, that will stabilize that emotion. So you don't want to lose the emotion. You don't want to, because it's a message here. I hear disemboweled. It's a message here for someone. This is what I'm feeling. Someone should do a water fast. Now, I'm not a doctor. Okay, not a doctor. All right. Someone should do a water fast. Disemboweled with the sword and water. If someone needs to do a water fast, because your emotions, emotions, it's chemicals. Okay, chemicals that are secrete off of the brain, the mind here, and you're overstimulated. You could have been eating too much sugar, possibly. And I'm going to reiterate, not a doctor, okay? So this is, advice, or, you take it how the way you see. But I feel like this person, whoever this resonates with, needs to do a water fast, maybe for 3 to 4 days. That's up, to you. And with the sword, I feel like it should be some type of an herb, like a plain tea. This tea could be, what is that? Not hibiscus tea, but what is that one I have? I'm looking at it right I can see it in my head, in my cabinet. Wormwood? No, not, yeah, probably wormwood, but it's another one I'm seeing in my head, but I just can't think of the name. But you can look up ones that will help to clear out the digestive system. Take that, the herb, the raw herb, make a herbal tea out of it. No sugar. You're already sweet enough. Look, I remember I saying it's like you got too much sugar going on. No sugar, no honey, maybe lemon juice, and do that for 3 days. Okay, 3 to 4 days. That's for somebody. Seek your healthcare physician though before doing all that. Maybe even that could be for you to talk to a herbalist, someone that is actually trained in that field. Ooh, okay. Well, this just popped up. We have the Justice card and the Sun. Okay, we just had that eclipse that just happened a couple weeks ago. So this could have been someone receiving some information, some directions that happened during that eclipse. Did someone ignore them? Did someone ignore the intuitive message? Maybe. Here we have the Sun. Okay, and this also could represent Aries. So like it could be a twofold message, like something that happened during that Libra eclipse, and something that will add to this message during this eclipse. So remember that eclipses, that energy lasts 3 to 6 months. Okay, so that could be an unfolding of events over this axis of Aries and Libra in the South Node, Aries in the North Node. Okay, this also could be someone reclaiming their self-identity. They could be so caught up in a relationship that they forgot about themselves. The Sun represents like the self, you forgot all about your needs, about your nourishment, about, for some reason I heard psychedelic for some reason, or like it was psychedelic, but it could be like your psyche. You forgot all about how the way you feel, how the way you think, because you're so engulfed in this relationship with the sign of Libra. Fairness. You got to be fair to yourself too. I think I may pull like one more set of cards and see. Okay. Oh, we already got two. All right. Here we have Mercury and Taurus. Oh, I think Mercury is in Taurus right now. Okay. And the Queen of Swords. Give me a second. The Five of Coins. Letting go. Like letting go. Somebody wants to tell somebody a piece of their mind. Maybe you need to. Maybe you just need to go ahead and tell that person how the way you feel. Maybe being diplomatic about it, maybe planning out a skit or, a script, maybe, or just like let it out. But trying to be as fair as possible, because this person, they may or may not know what you were talking about. They may be so engulfed in their mind that they do not know when they are embarking on your territory. They may not know when they are being hurtful, because something in their childhood, maybe they were extra spoiled, or maybe people just let them do whatever they wanted to do. And in the end, now you're in some type of predicament with them, whether they're a coworker, a boss, or a spouse, or like a boo or something. Or maybe someone is a teacher and is a child, and they just don't know, they don't see the error of their ways. So I would suggest being sweetening your language. Here with Mercury in Taurus, like sweetening, and maybe even flattering them a bit, but still delivering the message to them. Okay. Before it gets to something like this, where it's an all out battle, like an argument or something. Okay. I'm going to pull, not in regards to that. I'm going to pull a couple, maybe one card from my Oracle deck. You can find it on my Etsy shop, as well as my website, and even on TikTok. All right, let's see here. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see it real good. I am a producer. Produce something good and multiply it. Genesis 1:28. Okay. And we have Leo. Could be a Leo. It could be a Leo. Could be. This also could just represent the self. Just like your ego, your pride, your creativity, your inner child. Finding your inner child, allowing it to do something creative. That could be an exercise for today, for this eclipse. Yeah, that could be something that could be beneficial. Dancing. Okay, go dancing. Dance in your shower, dance in your living room, put on some nice music that you like, and allowing your inner child to dance and be free. That would be a wonderful way how to spend this eclipse. Give me a second. Let me look. We have a dragonfly and a butterfly, both representing transformation. Okay. Someone could be prompted to create something, do a creative project that will allow your inner child and your creativity to flourish. It could even lead to something that could be a beneficial hobby or another form of income. I'm going to pull a rune. For those that have been with me since the beginning of this ministry, I made these runes like, oh gosh, so many years ago. All right. So for someone, it could be an E for their name. But overall, I made this rune as a shin, like the glyph, or not really a glyph, but the symbol that's shaped like fire that represents transformation, or a fire sign, creativity, alchemy, the burning bush too. And with the burning bush in this card, the I am that I am, we are creators. So what can we create in our lives that bring us substance and joy, allowing our inner child to breathe, I hear. All right, let me see. The all-seeing eye. Taking a eagle's eye perspective on your life, seeing how you got to where you are now, and projecting into the future. That could be a creative exercise. I think I'll pull one more. All right, let's see. Ascension. You guys can't really see all that good. Ascension. I know it looks a little messed up right now, but it's ascension, like ascending. Once again, the eagle eye, taking a higher perspective. This could also represent two people coming together and ascending another level of their relationship. Because remember, I also said at the very beginning about 222 at 2:22 p.m. that this eclipse, Eastern Standard Time, this eclipse takes place, and that is the number of soul contracts That could be from family to divine partnerships such as twin flames, soulmates, etc. So that could be taking that relationship to the next level. And I can't help it. I'm gonna pull one more card. I sort of kind of miss this because I used to do this a lot. When I first started, I used to just do like tarot readings, but I used to teach using tarot and also the Bible, which I'm gonna get back into because I love it. It's fun. King of Cups. I don't feel like that's fully it. There we go. Leo. It could be a Cancer Leo couple or a Cancerian or a Leoan. I'm just joking. Or a Leo with water placements or either vice versa. Okay. Give me a second. This could be a relationship. This could be like a male and then like a female. This could be a relationship that you see the woman, sometimes I call her Delilah, or this could be the tribe of Judah, but Delilah, you know how Delilah took Samson and worked his head. She did head working on him. She would, remember, I don't know if you guys know this story of Delilah and Samson. She will work his head, and that's called head working. And she would pretty much get him to do what she wanted him to do, getting answers out of him. So this overall could be like a person, whether it's a male or female, that is using emotions, and whether it could just be persuasion with words or actual like maybe sexual energy, but they have a hold on this person. And once again, it's not about a male, female. It could be, different people. It could be a female and a female, or a male and a male, or whoever. This could also be a mother, and they're doing this to their child or to a spouse. I do feel some form of a motherly energy. So this could be a full-grown person that has some manipulative energy around them that stems from childhood, and it could stem from the mother. Give me a second. This person right here could be maybe someone that's watching, but I more so feel like it is someone that probably isn't watching. And you see how this one foot is placed forward a bit more? It's like this person knows that something is wonky within the relationship, but they're afraid to do something. Maybe they're afraid to lose this person, or they don't know how to articulate themselves. But if this is you, you already know. You need to speak up. Whether it takes some time, but you just honor yourself, honor your boundaries. This also overall speaks to boundaries, having strong boundaries. Okay, so you see the water. You guys can't really see that well, can you? You see all the water in the background. This person is a little more mastered. However, for some people, they're not mastered in their emotions yet. They still overtly emotionally stimulated by others. And the challenge is to overcome. It's not to lose your emotions. You were born as a specific sign: air, water, fire, earth. Or even if you're not sun, moon, rising, whatever heavily rules your chart, you're born that way for a specific reason. It's not to lose that element of yourself. It's for to master that element and use it for your benefit instead of allowing people to manipulate you. Give me a second. Yeah, so that's pretty much like the message. Hold on. Okay, referring back to alchemy, you see the affinity sign. I did have something in my notes about an 8. Well, too much to dig back through those notes. But anyway, affinity. Being perpetually in alignment. If you look, this is a feminine and masculine. The masculine represented by the lion, the lion's heart, tribe of Judah, the strength. And then you have the woman, and that is the divine feminine. Now, if we explain it in a different way, not according to manipulation, but according to balance, the beast would represent the masculine, not more so like a man and a woman, but like the masculine, the external that protects the feminine, not, once again, not relating to a man or a woman in these instances. But this will represent like your intuition, your subconscious, and allowing your external to be so hard. Well, not really hard, that's not the best word, but in tune with the feminine, that it knows when to attack or when to put up defenses and when to let it down. So the whole idea of masculine, feminine, the whole idea of how they have the man and the woman in the Bible, or pretty much any ancient text, it refers to this combo here: the masculine, the external, the physical, the doer, and then you have the intuition, the Holy Spirit, the womb, the woman, the church. This all represents that esoterically, okay? And how this beast, or the masculine, is supposed to protect the subconscious. Because once the subconscious is penetrated, you can introduce any idea. Look at this affinity over top of her. Sorry, for some reason it won't block calls. You see the affinity sign over top of the head. That represents like your halo. Like if you have a wide open halo, your subconscious, like anything can be dropped down in there, can be projected into the subconscious, and you grasp onto that idea and you continuously perpetuate that idea in your mind over and over again. So the masculine is there to protect the subconscious, so the wrong idea, the wrong information does not filter to the brain or filter to the subconscious and repetitively play out that subconscious programming. This will represent programs. That affinity sign, yeah, can you see? That affinity sign represents a program, a loop. So, for example, if this stood for generations, like I mentioned earlier in the conversation about generations, somewhat like we are programmed somewhat to a degree when we first come here. Okay, so in the mother's womb, programming. Then when we come out, we start to be programmed. Reward and punishment system. Now it's locked into the subconscious, and the guard dog, the lion, is supposed to protect the subconscious. But we have to work in tandem so we can remove this old programming, allowing the defenses to come down so we can reintroduce a new program into the subconscious mind, put it on a loop, and then allow the guard dog, aka the conscious mind, to protect that new loop. So this is all about reprogramming. Let me get this right here. A spontaneous download. This could happen over the next, I hear, 3 months for someone, where you're reprogramming your mind. You probably have to do this consciously. Yeah, because a lot of times, we already have been subconsciously programmed, like how I was mentioning, but we have to consciously pick out a new program that we want to identify as. Go through a program or like a ritual. That's what I mean. Like a ritual. And a ritual doesn't mean that necessarily you have to do something magical, but it could just be intentional. You want to intentionally let down the defenses of the guard dog, the conscious mind. Oh, not use that finger. Of the conscious mind. Have your program set up. Don't let anybody else come and program you, okay? You let that down and you put a new program, introduce a new program into the subconscious. You have it on loop. You let your guard dog come back up, come in guard again. And that's how you transform your life. It is all mental. And this is what that means. These two right here. Well, actually, all three of them really, because that's a fire energy. We have the fire, the great spark, the imagination. But you have, this could represent in this instance a new program that you spontaneously downloading. Like, oh, you can say a prayer or set an intention and ask, what program should I have in my subconscious mind that will bring me in alignment with my soul contract and bring abundance, name it all. That right there. You see what the program is, and then the ascension would represent downloading that new program into your subconscious. Downloading it. Okay. That would be an excellent exercise for this. Maybe not on the eclipse. If you feel comfortable with it, yeah. But maybe over the next 3 months, like how I was saying. But anyways, you guys, I got to go. I will talk to you later. Don't forget to check out my Oracle deck, the I Am That I Am. Oh, I got abundance on the bottom. Okay. All right. Now, we can't skip over this, though. Abundance. I am abundance. You see that infinite hand sprinkling abundance, and then it just comes down, continuous. Abundance is all around us, okay? Anyways, so I have my Oracle deck, TikTok, Instagram, Etsy, and also my website. You can get my Oracle deck. My book you can find on Amazon. That link will be in the bio. And yeah, PDF downloads on Etsy as well as my website. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Many blessings, divine ones. All right. Peace.